Welcome back to the Biblical Blueprint. It's your boy Reylo, and man, I got some amazing things to talk about, man. So let's go ahead and get into it. All right, so today we're going to do Genesis chapter 7 and 8. And right now we're talking about the divine timing. You know what I'm saying? Right now we're talking about the divine timing, and pretty much we're going over the story of Noah. We're in the beginning of the book. We're at the beginning of this journey. So we're learning more about the man known as Noah. Once again, if this is your first time tuning in, the Biblical Blueprint is my way of helping people read the Bible. Most people who are in churches have never read the Bible all the way through. They probably read Harry Potter. They probably read the 48 Laws of Power. People read newspapers, all types of books. You know what I'm saying? But I've probably never read the Bible all the way through, and probably in church every week. You know what I'm saying? So this is just me trying to help, get the ball rolling and help make things easier. You know what I'm saying? We're going to go chapter by chapter, verse by verse of the Bible and break it down and show you that this is the ultimate manual for life and in business. That's my goal for doing this. So let's go ahead. Like right now, we're talking about chapter 7 inside of the book of Genesis. You know what I'm saying? The goal of this is divine timing, because now it's time for the flood to happen. Pretty much Noah was told by God to build the ark. A flood's coming. And after he built the ark, God's coming here and it's like, hey, it's time. The flood's about to come. You know what I'm saying? And you're seeing where his obedience is putting him through, you know what I'm saying, making it to where he's going to survive this thing. And also you're seeing because this is going to elevate his faith, because, you know what I'm saying, it's one thing for God to tell you something, but when God shows you what he's going to tell you, it kind of erases any type of doubt. You know what I'm saying? So let's go ahead and let's get into the chapter, okay?
Genesis 7:1-24 ERV. Then the Lord said to Noah, I have seen that you are a good man, even among the evil people of this time. So gather your family, and all of you go into the boat. Get 7 pairs, 7 males and 7 females, of every kind of clean animal. And get 1 pair, 1 male and 1 female, of every other animal on the earth. Lead all these animals into the boat with you. Get 7 pairs, 7 males and 7 females, of all the birds. This will allow all these animals to continue living on the earth after the other animals are destroyed. 7 days from now, I will send much rain on the earth. It will rain for 40 days and 40 nights, and I will wipe everything off the face of the earth. I will destroy everything I made. Noah did everything the Lord told him to do. Noah was 600 years old at the time the rains came. He and his family went into the boat to be saved from the flood. His wife and his sons and their wives were on the boat with him. All the clean animals, all the other animals on the earth, the birds, and everything that crawls on the earth went into the boat with Noah. These animals went into the boat in groups of 2, male and female, just as God commanded. 7 days later, the flood started. The rain began to fall on the earth. On the 17th day of the 2nd month, when Noah was 600 years old, the springs under the earth broke through the ground, and water flowed out everywhere. The sky also opened like windows, and rain poured down. The rain fell on the earth for 40 days and 40 nights. That same day, Noah went into the boat with his wife, his sons Shem, Ham, and Japheth, and their wives. They and every kind of animal on the earth were in the boat. Every kind of cattle, every kind of animal that crawls on the earth, and every kind of bird were in the boat. All these animals went into the boat with Noah. They came in groups of 2 from every kind of animal that had the breath of life. All these animals went into the boat in groups of 2, just as God had commanded Noah. Then the Lord closed the door behind Noah. Water flooded the earth for 40 days. The water began rising and lifted the boat off the ground. The water continued to rise, and the boat floated on the water high above the earth. The water rose so much that even the highest mountains were covered by the water. The water continued to rise above the mountains. The water was more than 20 feet above the highest mountain. Every living thing on earth died. Every man and woman, every bird, and every kind of animal. All the many kinds of animals and all the things that crawl on the ground died. Every living, breathing thing on dry land died. In this way, God wiped the earth clean. He destroyed every living thing on the earth, every human, every animal, everything that crawls, and every bird. All that was left was Noah and his family and the animals that were with him in the boat. The water continued to cover the earth for 150 days. Genesis 7:1-24 ERV.
Okay. So now that we kind of read through everything, you know what I'm saying? Let's just kind of just focus on a couple of these points that we have here, right? So within chapter 7, right, there is, you know what I'm saying, you're seeing the preparation and how it precedes the promotion, where it's like now, like I kind of said in the last video, Noah's the first leader in the Bible. You know what I'm saying? And after this flood, he's the only leader. You know what I'm saying? God wipes out everything. You know what I'm saying? So, and with this, you know, I can understand it may have been like a grief, because what he's starting to experience also, with also being on the ark and seeing that everything is destroyed, you know, you realizing that you can't save everybody. You're not going to save everybody. You know, you can tell people, you can try to lead people to the right way. And that is like one of the key things. Like you gotta let God do what God does. And you know what I'm saying? You just have to work. As long as you're obedient, everything will be all right. Because also what we realize is like the storm isn't the end. You know, the storm, you know what I'm saying? You just being prepared for the storm is just enough. And God coming to you and preparing you for the storm is even better. But after the storm, there's going to be great things, because, you know, Noah was prophesied to make things easier, and, you know, by his father. So now we're going to see that, you know, this is him making things easier in a new world. So now that we've all actually went through chapter 7, I've combined this because, you know what I'm saying, it's really just showing you the beginning of the storm and after the storm. You know what I'm saying? Showing you everything that is happening before and after the storm. So now, you know, we just did chapter 7. Let's go ahead and break down chapter 8, okay?
Genesis 8:1-22 ERV. But God did not forget about Noah. God remembered him and all the animals that were with him in the boat. God made a wind blow over the earth, and all the water began to disappear. Rain stopped falling from the sky, and water stopped flowing from under the earth. The water that covered the earth began to go down. After 150 days, the water was low enough that the boat touched land again. The boat stopped on one of the mountains of Ararat. This was the 17th day of the 7th month. The water continued to go down, and by the 1st day of the 10th month, the tops of the mountains were above the water. 40 days later, Noah opened the window he had made in the boat. Then he sent out a raven. The raven flew from place to place until the ground was dry and the water was gone. Noah also sent out a dove. He wanted it to find dry ground. He wanted to know if water still covered the earth. The dove could not find a place to rest because water still covered the earth. So the dove came back to the boat. Noah reached out his hand and caught the dove and brought it back into the boat. After 7 days, Noah again sent out the dove. And that afternoon, the dove came back to Noah. The dove had a fresh olive leaf in its mouth. This was a sign to show Noah that there was dry ground on the earth. 7 days later, Noah sent the dove out again. But this time, the dove didn't come back. After that, Noah opened the door of the boat. He looked and saw that the ground was dry. This was the first day of the first month of the year. He was 601 years old. By the 27th day of the second month, the ground was completely dry. Then God said to Noah, "Leave the boat. You, your wife, your sons, and your sons' wives should go out now. Bring every living animal out of the boat with you, all the birds, animals, and everything that crawls on the earth. These animals will make many more animals, and they will fill the earth again." So Noah went out with his sons, his wife, and his sons' wives. All the animals, everything that crawls, and every bird left the boat. All the animals came out of the boat in family groups. Then Noah built an altar to honor the Lord. Noah took some of all the clean birds and some of all the clean animals and burned them on the altar as a gift to God. The Lord smelled these sacrifices, and it pleased him.
The Lord said to himself, "I will never again curse the earth as a way to punish people. People are evil from the time they are young, but I will never again destroy every living thing on the earth as I did this time. As long as the earth continues, there will always be a time for planting and a time for harvest. There will always be cold and hot, summer and winter, day and night on earth."
Genesis 8:1-22 ERV.
Okay, so that was chapter 8. And pretty much, God didn't forget about Noah. You know what I'm saying? He put him through the storm. It rained for 40 days and 40 nights, and it must have been a violent storm because all there was water, right? So this chapter is really showing that there's divine remembrance. Anytime you feel like God has forgotten about you or something like that, just realize like the storm was real, but it's also a metaphorical thing. We go through storms in our lives. There's always an event where it's like a catastrophe, right? And it's always like what changes after the catastrophe that you have to realize. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're walking in the true will of God, he's always going to remember you, you know, even if it does seem dark. I'm just going to use this time to really tell you about my program, The Miracle Blueprint. It is a 40-day program where you can create a miracle in your life. And it's really getting you to really align yourself with what God wants you to do and to be obedient to the things that he needs you to do and starting to reflect and actually display yourself as a godly person. Go to Reylo.tv, sign the contact form, and I'm going to shoot you all the information, because I want more people to take this fast. And I want more people to see, the things that it will do to change your life, because it's changed my life completely. I've used this thing for situations where I've had relationship issues. I've used it when I've had business issues. I used it when I had just emotional issues. I've used it even when I've just gotten to my lowest and didn't know what to do. Just fasted, and I've seen God turn everything around for me in my life. And I pretty much, and this is a thing that I did not create it, but I am repackaging it to promote it to more people. Go to Reylo.tv and check out the Miracle Blueprint and do it and see how God is going to move in your life. You know what I'm saying? One thing about even doing the blueprint, because you're going to go through trials during a 40-day period. You know what I'm saying? Just think about when you want to change, you're going to have to go through a period of a trial. And it may be it might be multiple things that are happening within this trial. You know what I'm saying? But sacrifice is always before success. You know what I'm saying? You have to, the gratitude is going to precede the growth, you know? So you need to be thankful. Like you need to start living in a way of when you're going through something, thank God for going through something. You know what I'm saying? I always, when I'm going through anything in life now, because one of the big things about the miracle blueprint, you have to eliminate complaining. I start to thank God for my problems. And I start to thank God because it's helped me learn how to solve my problems by having more problems. The more problems he throws at me, and the better I learn how to handle it without getting angry or shutting down or, you know what I'm saying, doing things that are just outside of my character. I thank him because it always helps me grow. And it's helping me grow into a better man because I am happy for the trials and tribulations because it's going to help me grow. My goal is to help more people become more entrepreneurial. If you like what you're seeing right now, as far as the quality and even how because this isn't the only thing that I have going for myself, but I've also helped other people build businesses digitally because at this point in time, if your business isn't digital, it's not going to grow and multiply the way it's supposed to. And that's where I come in. That's where I'm here to help you. I can help you make more content and create content to help push your business. I can help you create websites where you're able to sell your products, sell your services, and even get paid for people even just visiting your website through monetization, or even help you sell other products or bring in sponsorships for yourself. Go to Reylo.tv, fill out the form, and I'm going to contact you because I want to help. You know, tying chapter 8 and chapter 7, chapter 7 and 8, to a business, you know, I want to talk about like the altar because it did say that Noah went and built an altar, you know, just to show his gratitude. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like he was reinvesting his faith. You know what I'm saying? Like once God showed him that he was real, he's all in. You know what I'm saying? You want to find a way to where you really want to just go all in whatever you're doing. And the main way to go all in is just to find your purpose, or even just to be honest with you, is you got to just start. Just start. You know what I'm saying? I would say if there's anything that you can do to be obedient and I would just say even to yourself, to help yourself, is just start. It doesn't matter where you're starting at, just start. Even if it's the smallest start. Maybe you just grab a piece of paper and just start writing down business ideas. That is a start. Just go ahead and get started. You know, we can go ahead and apply a lot of things to our lives that we've learned from these two stories. One is that you cannot rush the process of God. You know what I'm saying? When you're going through the trial, you just got to go through the trial. It may be years that you may be going. You know what I'm saying? Like they talked about the flood and it was like 40 days and 40 nights, but they never talked about the 150-day period afterwards where the waters had to go down. You know what I'm saying? That was like a 200-day trial that Noah had to go through on a boat. You know what I'm saying? You may be going through something not as similar, but you may be going through a dark time in your life. Pray about it and have faith that God is going to bring you through. God will never forget you. You know, it's divine timing with this thing. And if you start to believe in the timing that God has for you, because once you're just starting to believe that God has something great for you and that you are destined for greatness, that's when it's going to happen. You know, there's other people who will say to believe in yourself and believe in the universe and all other things to kind of just deny God. And I get it. There's people who become successful, but you also have to realize, like, they have their blessings. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times, and you know, it's just the truth. Like, a lot of people who say stuff like that are usually miserable because you know what? They're always complaining about the the dread of becoming rich and the problems with becoming rich. You know what I'm saying? And always complaining about the fruits of their labor. When you go the God route, you will never, ever, ever, ever have to complain about the success that's been bestowed upon you. This was kind of a tough little lesson because I felt like it was like kind of choppy, but I hope you enjoyed it. If you went this far, you know what I'm saying? Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, go to Reylo.tv and tap in with me, man. This your boy Reylo. This is the Biblical Blueprint. I'll be back again.